Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite new systems. It's coming up next. What is this? So before I get into showing you the ColecoVision Atom expansion module number 3, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it. And you've probably already know a little bit about this already, but it's good to have a little background before we get into it. This was, again, an expansion module to what was actually a pretty popular ColecoVision video game console. Now, there was a standalone version of the ColecoVision Atom, but I personally wanted the expansion module number 3 because A, I love the ColecoVision, I love the way it looks, plus it's modded, so I love what I have, but I just like the idea of just having two really iconic consoles that I can just view anytime I want when I come down into my game room. Iconic in different ways. One was a complete bust, and one was very successful. This came out, we're talking like 40 years ago. Back then, in the early 80s, in the mid 80s, not everybody had a computer. I mean, it's hard to understand that now, but a lot of people either couldn't afford it, didn't understand it, or they were priced out. So ColecoVision came up with this big idea that they were going to get into the computer market and make it affordable. And at least according to their release, it was supposed to be, I believe at the time, just a little over $500. I believe it eventually got up to over $700, which, again, not too bad considering you got a computer, a printer, keyboard. It all came in one huge box. So, at any rate, this didn't do very well. The ColecoVision Atom is notorious for breaking down, and it was also kind of built in a weird way to where the power source actually came through the printer, so you had to have everything hooked up for it to even work. The good news is that these days they make power sources so that you don't need the printer, and I actually went out and got one, this bad boy right here. And this allows me just to plug it in without having the printer, which is great. So now I can just have my ColecoVision Atom Module 3 up there with my ColecoVision. So that is kind of the backstory. Like I said, it bombed, but to me it's fascinating. At any rate, if you do find one that works, you're going to be happy because, well, I'm about to show you. There's some games I'm going to show you that kind of show you what the Atom could do. So here we go. Now here's the most important thing before you start. Do not have your ColecoVision plugged in because the power is going to come straight through your Atom computer. So unplug your ColecoVision or it will not work. So, yes, that is really how long it takes to get this thing going. But it does eventually get going, as you can see here. So, this is the ColecoVision Family Computer System presents Donkey Kong by Nintendo for the ColecoVision Atom. So, this is basically the super game for Donkey Kong, if you will. If you recall from the original Donkey Kong that came out, it did not have all of the scenes, and it didn't have any of the cutscenes. It didn't have all the, stages, and it didn't have any of these cutscenes. It didn't have this part, for example. So this is pretty cool to see, finally, as somebody who grew up with ColecoVision and wanted these extra stages to be included in cutscenes. So, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, this is amazing. The one gripe I have about Donkey Kong for the ColecoVision Atom is that it feels like Mario's a little bit wonkier than he is on the cartridge version for ColecoVision. But, I mean, overall, it's the same thing, and it's obviously pretty darn cool. So I guess we can just skip right to what people. If you have a ColecoVision, you understand what this game is. So let's get to the cutscenes. Let's show you those because those are what people get to see in this version. Now let's take a look at the extra stage that was included with the Atom version. And even cooler is that at the end of the game, you had high scores. So, you can hear the music going on in the background. The game is still in there. But all you have to do, take this out. Let's put in Donkey Kong Jr. Again, you just put this in the slot. And then just reset it. So this is Donkey Kong Jr. Again, it has cutscenes and it also has a new stage that wasn't included in the cartridge version that was on ColecoVision. And there really isn't much different than, especially this stage, there really isn't anything different from the ColecoVision version. The only thing that's noticeably different is the cutscenes. So let's go show, there's two of them actually. Let's go show you the first one here. And now let's show you the extra stage that's included in this version. That is not, again, included in the ColecoVision version. So again, you can hear the running in the background there. All you have to do is remove it. And then we'll put in Buck Rogers Super Game Pack. And then reset. All right, so this is Buck Rogers. This was actually a pretty cool arcade game back in the day. Something I played, and it is pretty good on the ColecoVision console, the cartridge version. And this one just kind of takes it to another level. I mean, it's just got more graphics. I think your ship exploding is bigger, but there's a lot of enhancements that are made, including high scores, just like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. But it really just looks good. And you got to remember, this was not even the mid 80s. This is like the early to mid 80s that this came out. So it's pretty stellar. Alright, so here's the most important thing. So when you're done playing with your data tapes, you want to take it out, obviously, because you do not want it in the tape player when you turn it off. So you take it out, make sure it's nowhere near the ColecoVision or Atom computer when you turn it off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it off, and that way it doesn't mess with any of the data pack games, because it is known to erase all the magnetic data that's stored on those tapes. So make sure they're safely away, and then you can turn it off. So there you have it. That is the ColecoVision Atom Computer Expansion Module number 3. That's a mouthful, I know. But let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in getting one? Are you willing to spend the money for one nowadays? Let me know in the comments below. And before you go, please, please, please hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. And there's plenty more videos to check out while you're here. But I'm Scott Galaxy, and we'll see you on the next episode.